day, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I remain Adeni Oluwaseyi. Today, I'm talking about how to start a bee farm. Yes, I've had many people asking questions on how to start a beekeeping farm, and I've decided to make a video on it to teach people, probably explain what it takes, what you need to start a bee farm. Okay, one thing I want to ask is that first thing before we actually dive into how to start a bee farm is that we have to ask ourselves some questions. Questions like what are my objectives? Like what are my what are the reasons or why do I intend to start a bee farm? Okay, one thing is it for personal use or is it for personal purpose or for commercial purposes? Okay, now if it's for commercial, then let's start thinking about the cost of starting. Even for personal, you still need money to start because you need money to procure a land. As if you don't have a land of your own, then after the land, you still need money to procure your hives, as the hives you'll be using. Then think about the equipment also, which includes your bee suits and your big smokers. Okay, now also we have to consider what part of beekeeping or apiculture are you actually going into, because there are many aspects of apiculture. So it's not just about, I know that many people just know that beekeeping is about honey production, but it's far beyond that. In beekeeping, we have honey production, we have beeswax production, we have propolis production, we have venom production, and we have royal jelly production. Okay, each of these products, we call them bee products. Each of them has value, monetary value, and the least expensive of them all is what actually we focus more of our energy on, which is the honey production. The other aspect of beekeeping actually fetch more money than honey production in itself. But I think honey production is quite easier, very easy to do. That's why many people dive into it. Okay, but today I'll focus a bit purely on honey production, so I won't be diving into the other aspects of bee product production, which include Beeswax, Propolis, venom, jelly, and the rest. Okay, so now, what do you need to get started? What do you need to start your own bee farm? Because those are the questions you need to ask before you even think of start thinking of setting up or whatever it is. So what are the things you need to get started? Number one thing is land. And talking about land, um, personally, I've given different advice on the best kind of land to use for beekeeping. And, as an experienced beekeeper, I advise my clients, like those I've actually consulted for, to get a land that has tree covers. Okay, so why tree covers? Okay, why tree cover? Because a land with tree cover actually provide number one shade for the bees. Then number two, it helps them regulate their hive temperature. Then number three, another thing it does is that it serves as windbreak. Most time when the land is too open and there's a storm or probably a strong wind, the wind thereby kind of disrupts the flight path. So what I mean is that the the wind carry them like take them off their flight path and disrupt the production. So when you have trees and you have under the trees, it's actually to serve as windbreak. Then the second one to talk about is serve as shade, because when the when temperature is high, like maybe in the daytime, before that most of the bees, instead of settling down in the hive, they tend to come out because of the hive temperature is high. And most times, discover that instead of the workers to go out in search or to forage, they uh, they stay back and spend most of their energy and time fanning the hive, thereby trying to cool the temperature of the hive. So this take their time, take their energy, useful time they should use to forage and make more honey for you. So can you see? So tree covers is a good one. Then on that thing I like to consider is the nearness to water body. It's good when you have a farm close by water body, because the bees need water also for honey production. So when there's not much water, you find out that the production level actually falls. So you need water around your farm. So another thing is to consider is security because of recent. Personally, I've experienced this where I store my hives and after after a few months, like time for harvesting, I came around and discovered that people have googled my farm. They've cut away with my honey. And not just that. Some will go the distance of using insecticides to kill or to spray the bees. So meaning it's a two-way loss for me. I lose my honey, I lose my bees, and it's a painful experience. So those are the major things you need to consider. Then another thing is the financing, because beekeeping, though it's a one-time investment, but it can also be money intensive depending on capacity you plan actually starting with or going or kind of you're going into. Okay. Um, Before now, like 3 4 years back, the cost of an hive, like the Kent hive, locally made. I think personally, I make my own tubers and my own Kenya tuber hive, and I spend on the average of 10,000 naira, 10 to 12,000 naira then. But in this current economy, whereby everything is on the high side, inflation has affected everything. Now I spent as much as 17 to 18,000 naira making one hive, that's Kenya tuber hive. So now imagine you want to start with 100. Okay, let me say 10. So 10 times the 10,000 naira, that will give you 180,000 naira to make 10 hives. Then you have to consider logistics. Moving those hives from where you make them down to your farm is another cost. Then another cost you have to also put into consideration is the cost of getting attractants. Because you can't just install your hive and expect bees to come in without you actually beating the hives to attract the bees into the hives. So that's another thing. Then another thing you have to consider also is the fourth, is the cost of security because I would not advise you to just install hives and go away. It's an investment. So how do you plan to secure your hives? How do you plan to secure your farm and prevent it from being boggled? So that's another thing you have to consider as a farmer. Then another thing you need to consider is the fifth point I'll be raising is, is the cost of management because you need to manage your farm income regularly. Okay, but beekeeping is not kind of it's not like other form of farm because here in Africa, here in Nigeria, we don't feed our bees. We let them forage naturally. But even at that, they still need management. Still need most time to come and check the hives because most time we find that rats borehole into those hives. So borehole into the hives. So by doing that, they bring in debris and dirt into the hives. And even at times, you can find snake inside your hive. Snakes. So we may have to come around like maybe like once in 2 weeks to check the hives, clean them up regularly, so that so that the bees can be comfortable because bees don't really like dirty environment. And once the hive is clumsy and dirty, that could force them to leave. Then also if the hive are dirty, it could actually it could also um, promote infection. If you have bugs coming into the hive, as wax moth and whatsoever it is, and that will also affect the, the the quality of the honey you get or the quantity of the production. So those are the things you need to put into consideration. Then number six, you still need some other equipment, other tools for your beekeeping journey. One thing you need to get is your bee suit because as we all know, you cannot go visit your apiary, open your hive without you fully fully guided, like no, without you fully dressed in your suit. And so on the average, presently the cost of a suit goes for as much as 15,000 naira. That's for the quality one. But I think you can get from also some beekeepers for as low as 12,000 naira. But sometimes the quality differs. But the average 12, 15,000 naira for the bee suit. Then another thing you have to consider is smoker. And on the average, the smoker goes between 8 to 10,000 naira. So those are the things you need to put into consideration while setting up